So this year's shaping out to be a pretty good one for large format photography, but instant film's been taking some serious L's for the last few years. Let's talk about it. Hey there, and welcome to Large Format Friday. I'm your host, Matt Marrash. If this is the first time you're stopping by the channel, there's a playlist of the 4th season that we're currently working on. If you haven't subscribed yet, each and every Friday, we're going to be here and we're going to be chatting about something large format. This is a bit of a sad topic, and it's a sore point for me because I love instant photography. I think it's one of the most engaging forms of film photography that's out there. It captures people from all ages, all backgrounds. They can relate to that instant print. The downside, though, is the cost of the materials is significantly higher than just using film. You need specialty equipment. It's a specialty process involving a one-time monobath that does everything together, and that's where we're kind of running into some issues keeping good amounts of it available. So let's talk about what's out there, what's fresh, and what we can do about it. Let's start off with some of the bad news. When, we'll call it old Polaroid, went out in 2009, they left a huge hole in the market. SX70 films, Peel-Apart films, and some of their single sheet and even larger Peel-Apart type films. This included things like the Polaroid 669, single sheet type 55, and all sorts of wonderful color and integral emulsions. It left a huge hole in people's heart. By the way, this is a Peel-Apart film, but it is loaded in a single sheet. That single sheet holder is the 545i. This is compatible with 4x5 cameras. Any 4x5 camera that can take a cut film holder, including this Graflex Crown Graphic here, can insert it. Actually, here, It has a load position and a process position, and when you're done, you yank it out. If you want to see more about using this kind of stuff, I'm going to drop a link to the studio episode with my buddy Tariq Terry, where we shot some Type 55 instant. It's a wonderful type film. The downside is these holders can be kind of expensive. Refurbished ones can go for over $100, and used ones start around the $50 range and up. And that's before even considering the film. This film is going for more than fresh film of the same 4x5 size. Is it worth it? Well, it depends. We're starting to get to that point where this film is not as reliable as it used to be. Typically, the larger the film and the slower speed the film, the better it's going to fare over the course of years. We're now even to the point where this semi-fresh 2008-2009 expired Type 55 is starting to fail. You may only get 1 or 2 out of each 3 or 4 frames, and sometimes the whole box will be completely dried out. Let's take this one out. Along the lines of that type of film, there were a few projects out there that were trying to fill the gap of the Type 55 film, and one of those was the New 55 project, which I still happen to have a box of. It's a worthy project that was trying to accomplish an insurmountable task for a small team. They still managed to create a positive negative material. If you go on, I think it's called the famous large format company, they do still have listings for this stuff, but I don't see any product updates beyond 2020. Fingers crossed that they're going to keep going. They had 2 different black and white emulsions, and I believe they also had a color positive negative emulsion. So I'm all about supporting small efforts, but it is a very uphill battle. So that's New 55. The other type films that were out there that fit 4x5 were the even larger 4x5 Peel-Apart films that came in a pack of 10. This was Polaroid size as well as Fuji FP100C, which sadly was discontinued about, what's that, 6-7 years ago now. The FP100C, both in 4x5 and 3¼ by 4¼ sizes, has left another giant hole in the marketplace, and there is one project that is trying to keep that up, and that would be the One Instant project. At the time of recording, One Instant is currently showing out of stock. To buy the Polaroid or Fujifilm processor for that, you will need a bit of startup cash. You'll need $100 to $150 for that, and then you're roughly $25 to $30 per shot to make that happen. Ouch, that's a good chunk of fresh color film versus something that is instantly ready. Is there going to be any good news in this episode? Well, I am probably the latest to the party to talk about this particular product, but one that I think has left a fantastic impression on the large format market and shows a lot of promise for getting folks into instant photography with their large format camera is this fabulous tool right here, the LomoGraflok Instant Back. This was generously loaned out to me by Mr. Sam Fahmy. Sam, thank you so much. Sam's a local Columbus photographer, works in digital. He's also started his large format journey thanks to checking out LFF, and he wanted to let me have a fair chance at this back. I think this is a really great solution for folks that want to shoot instant film but want to shoot something that's fresh and inexpensive. So there's two pieces in this. You have this mask. This slides into the back of the camera, into the frame, so you can push back the ground glass and focus because there's this thickness difference, and you'll see why here in a second. There's a thickness difference because we have the main body itself, which is chunky to say the least. So the LomoGraflok is perfectly sized for shooting Fujifilm Instax Wide. The film that is available just about everywhere. It's available at grocery stores, local pharmacies, and your nearest photo specialty store. It's relatively inexpensive, coming in at less than $1 per shot, which is a shocker price tag for anybody that's used to large format pricing, which is typically through the roof. Probably my favorite thing about this product is it solves a problem without creating a multitude of new ones. A lot of solutions that are out there revolve around using technology that was really proprietary and using films that were very boutique to begin with, and trying to start those back up from scratch is a huge task when you don't have the scale. Lomography has a ton of market experience in turning products that currently exist into something a little bit different, maybe a little bit more unique. Sure, some folks will complain about maybe the build quality. This isn't like metal. I've heard some complaints about like spacing issues from the back. Maybe they need to be shimmed a few millimeters here or there. I don't think this is meant to be a precision tool. It's something that's just supposed to be a lot of fun. It is hard to get the exact sharpness down unless you are right on it, but I really do like the results. You're working with a generally faster speed film than you would be with your traditional 4x5 instant and color films, so it fits a really cool place in the market. And to Fujifilm, if you're watching this, what do you want from us? What is it going to take for you to not take anything more away? We had Velvia 100, we had Velvia 50, we had Astia, we had Acros. All we're down to is Provia in large format. And now this Instax Wide. That's all we got left. What do you want? Do you want me to buy more film? Every time I get a tax return, I'm buying another box of Provia. I am ride or die Fujifilm. Do you want me to shoot digital? I'm shooting this on an X-T4. This rant's coming to you from an X-T3. Please, just keep this stuff going. Look, I even bought the Instax Wide shirt. Come on. I don't want there to be a monopoly in the film photography market. We need some competition. I promise I won't call Velvia Velveeta anymore, but just stop taking away our films. So that's my 2 cents on the LomoGraflok Instax Wide Back. I think it does a great job, and if you don't just want my opinion, let's ask my buddy Mike Rosso what he thinks about it. Hey, Mike.
This is amazing. This is great.
Thanks, Mike. So the last fresh-made product that is out there for instant photography in large format isn't something for 4x5. It is actually still the 8x10 Polaroid. So the quick history there, Polaroid had a positive negative 8x10 film. You loaded the negative, you expose the negative, you smush it in with the positive, and then you peel it apart. When they went out and Impossible reinvented it, it became an integral film. Impossible became Polaroid Originals. Polaroid Originals is now just back to being Polaroid. They are making the 8x10 film, but they are not making a lot of it. There's been very few in-stock reports at major retailers. There recently was an event in New York City where there was some Polaroid that was made for that event. I really hope that they will see that as, yes, the market wants this, and I have pending back orders at several major retailers, and I want to see that stuff really soon. But until then, I'm instead exploring instant film alternatives. What I'm talking about here are ones that don't necessarily need a full darkroom setup and don't have a long developing time, but can give you really acceptable, cool, instant results. Two of some of the oldest processes that give you instant feeling results are, of course, the wet plate collodion and the dry plate photographic process. These two are pretty resource intensive, and if you don't like the price of some of the current fresh instant film products, dry plates and wet plates are not going to save you. The specialty holders you'll need for those can set you back at least several $100s. So those are options, but they're not exactly inexpensive options. In the dry plate world, things are a little bit easier. We have J-Lane dry plates. We also have these zebra plates from Lost Light Arts. And last but not least, we have paper type processes where we have paper negatives, direct positives like Ilford Harman direct positive, or DIY black and white positive like the processes of Ethan Moses and Joe Van Cleve, and the RA4 color reversal process. This one is a personal favorite of mine because I really enjoy being able to control the color palette and make it look like Polaroid and feel like Polaroid without necessarily being as dependent on whatever prices there are. So with all this news and very little that's available fresh in instant film, what do we do about it? Well, the biggest thing we can do is vocalize. Share your love for instant photography with other folks. Share the products that are current, new. Be seen with them. Take them to events. Anytime I'm going to show up with large format, from here on out, I'm going to be bringing some form of instant 4x5 with me. For the time being, and as long as Sam lets me keep shooting this, it's going to be that LomoGraflok 4x5 because Instax Wide is a fabulous way to connect. I don't care if I give away the frame or if I screw something up. It's a very low pain, low barrier to entry to get really nice instant film results. Instant photography is not the proofing medium that it once was. It is the final result. It is its own artistic intent. If you have any questions about instant film or you want to share your thoughts on the world of instant photography, let me know down below in the comments. And for those long form questions, you can always feel free to shoot me an email, largeformatquestions@gmail.com. Thanks again for stopping by, and we'll catch you next week for more LFF.